How's it going, guys? Josh here, aka Olufemi. I know it's been a while since I've dropped a YouTube video. I was actually out of town. I was directing, shooting, and editing a music video in New Zealand for Korean pop artist Minzy. What was interesting was I realized that I consciously made the decision not to bring a fog machine to set. This was very unusual because for those that have known me for a minute, they would know that I am obsessed with fog. I remember the first time that I discovered fog in cinema. Fog actually created spatial depth by creating another surface in which contrasting light intensities and color temperatures could interact with each other. Fog also caught light to create beaming. Fog also helped to soften harsh light sources. So what is there to hate? So before we move on, just a quick story. Back a few years ago, me and one of my best friends, Mobalaji, we got this really cool music video project down in LA. It was one of our first ones that we did, and we decided to collab on it. We decided to implement what we thought at the time as our secret sauce, the power of fog. I had recently hit up Craigslist and gotten a cheap $50 fog machine. But it was funny, I decided the day before the shoot that little fog machine wasn't gonna cut it. I was gonna need something bigger. So I ended up driving over to 4 Wall Entertainment, one of my favorite rental houses in Burbank, and we ended up getting our hands on the biggest fog machine that we could find. This thing was so massive that you had to actually transport it in a Pelican case, and it's the kind of fog machine that you'd use to fill up huge stadiums when they have huge concerts. So we rock up on the set, I drag the fog machine, I set it up in the back, I turn it on, I put it to 100%, and I just leave it alone and forget about it. And you had to have been there. We had a set full of extras and talent, and you couldn't even see them because the room was just choked, packed thick with fog. You couldn't even see the hand in front of you. I was basically just in paradise. And so we start shooting. You'd actually laugh. We were using a Canon T2i, or as they say internationally, the Canon 550D. It was a very, very cheap shoot, and this was a long time ago. But it was in that decision to use that specific type of camera that our main issue laid. DSLRs and mirrorless cameras just seem to suck with fog. I personally feel like with these type of cameras, fog just softens the image too much. It just diminishes that crisp, glossy look. And it also makes color grading a pain. It makes the colors get muddier a lot faster. Shooting flat, or what I like to call fake flat, with DSLRs or mirrorless cameras doesn't really work either because it's almost impossible to bring that contrast back in post. So the footage for that video that I did years ago just didn't look optimal. And it's hilarious because I feel like I even made that mistake again recently with the Lucky 7 video that I did with my bro IMD. I just think that the excessive fog that I used hurt the image quality. So let's talk about solutions. Let's first talk about 2 expensive solutions. Expensive solution number 1. Just buy a haze machine. Haze is thinner, and if used correctly, it's hardly even visible. You'll get those light beams without that visible smoke in the air, and you'll even get a little bit of softening of hard lights. Okay, that makes sense. That could be part of the solution, but the real issue lays with the expensive nature of most haze machines. The cheapest haze machine that I found was like $500 last time I checked. So expensive solution number 2, buy a better camera. If I right now just ditched my Canon 550D or even my Sony a7S Mark II and replace it with a Red Dragon or an ARRI Alexa, I would instantly see crisper footage when I shot in fog. From my experience, this always seems to be true. I feel like this has to do with the better color science, the higher resolution, and just the overall better sensor that these expensive cameras have. But I don't have an extra $50,000 worth of new camera money to spend on a new expensive camera. So let's think of another solution. Cheap solution number 1. Yeah, fog can suck, but a lot of the time it's not the fog itself that sucks, but it's actually just the location of the fog that sucks. Fog works best when it's not in between the camera and the subject that's being shot. This will just lead to a reduction of image sharpness where it actually counts on your main subject. The majority of fog needs to stay behind the main subject for as long as possible. That way, the fog still adds depth. It still hovers around light sources to soften them. It still even catches light beams, but it stays away from that crucial area in between the camera and the subject. So how can you accomplish this? Well, you create a ventilation system on set. You just have to have open doors on each side of your set, one behind your camera and one behind your subject. Then you use a fan on a continuous low speed to create a current to push air into the back of the room, behind the subject. And then you place the fog machine behind the subject. If done right, most of the fog will stay behind the subject, and most of it will just vent out the back out of the building. The constant stream of escaping fog may seem like you're actually wasting a lot of fog, which you will be, but this process will ensure that you have clarity in your images. Here's another solution. Try refrigerating the fog as it comes out of the machine. This will force it to lay low to the ground. There are machines that actually do this already. They're called ground fog machines, and there are DIY options as well. You can also just use dry ice in a bucket to create low-lying fog. This of course just keeps fog out of the way of the camera and low down on the ground. And the last solution, guys, is simply just use less fog when you shoot. I know when you get your fog machine for the first time, it's really tempting just to go fog crazy, but you gotta understand that a little fog actually goes a long way. Get your fog machine, let out just a few seconds of spurt, then turn it off, and then actually use a fan just to distribute the fog evenly across the room, of course behind the subject, and you'd be amazed at the great results that you're gonna get. So we're talking about fog, right? Have you ever been in the situation where you've actually forgotten to use fog on set and you've actually wanted to add fog in digitally? Well, you can actually do this using overlays. And a great resource for overlays and tons of other actual transition packs, VFX packs, title packs, anything you can think of in the world of digital media is my channel sponsor, Envato Elements. It's only $33 a month and there's over 500,000 products that you can choose from. Also check out below, I have a cool After Effects tutorial talking about how you can use digital fog effectively. All right guys, that's all we're gonna talk about in this video regarding fog. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep it chill.